We're online with Sean Ringold. Take it, Ben.
Sean, thanks for showing up, man.
Good to be here, my brother. Good to see you, sir.
Great to see you. All slim, lean, sexy.
Big sexy's in the house right now, motherfucker. Yeah, I'm here, baby. I'm feeling good.
So we're a New York centric podcast, so we gotta do a bunch of New York interviews, and Sean's from Far Rockaway, Queens.
Rockaway Beach, baby.
Rockaway Beach, that's right.
But much love to Far Rock too.
Rockaway Beach. Sean is a successful screen, television, and stage actor, executive producer, and I know him as a very good athlete who's had experience as a lifeguard all the way to now a very competitive cyclist. And so, Sean, welcome to the show, man. And we're here with Dr. G and Ben V. And we're going to talk about how you thrive on and off screen.
All right.
Oh, man.
Hey, Sean, we were talking just before we went live here and had some technical difficulties, but one of the things you were talking about is growing up in Queens, not necessarily in the hood, but, you know, across the street from the hood.
I was across the street from the hood. That's good.
So
it ain't the hood no more over there, boy.
No, I know.
Can't get nothing under $1 million.
Anything over there. The house I grew up in Flushing, they just sold it for $900,000. This thing is built in 1953 of nothing. I mean, just sheetrock and cheap wood and plywood and needs a kitchen. It needs bathrooms. $900,000.
Don't sell it.
Yeah. No, it's too late.
Oh man, I would have Airbnb'd it
years ago.
That man, Flushing, that airport going up.
Yeah.
All my family's property, Jackson Heights. We're selling nothing, owning everything.
Yeah.
This is a great time right now.
So, Sean, you were saying how your mom and your dad were a big influence on you, but your mom was a self-help junkie. How did that impact you?
She's always believed in counseling and going to therapists, because she always believes that we're all a work in progress. So many years ago, when she thought I was ready, she put me on to I forgot. She also put me on to Nelson Mandela. She put me on to, these are audio tapes.
Yeah.
There was a company called Audible, I believe, that had a lot of audio tapes, and she put me on to Dr. Deepak Chopra, Anthony Robbins. Those are the two that I can remember from that time. And I was listening to the personal self-help and development tapes when I was 16 years old going to high school. I mean, you find it's very...
How did that influence the choices you made after high school?
Tremendous. There's certain things that always stuck out of my mind. If someone, especially from Anthony Robbins, if someone isn't where you want to be in your life, they're not qualified to give you the advice. Mm-hmm. So I said to myself, if I want to make $150,000 to $200,000 a year, I shouldn't be sharing those ideas, or I shouldn't be asking someone who makes 50 to 75, because if they knew, they would do. So I would always look at my teachers and like, okay, my mom's a teacher. I know that you're making 65, 70. You're really not the person that I'm going to go to be able to become a success, because if you knew how to do it, you do it yourself.
That's pretty enlightening for a high school.
It changed my life.
Dude,
so
seriously.
When I hear people talking smack, I'm like, I love my mom and my dad, but I can't even share certain things that are going on, because it's so mind-boggling from where they come from. Now, if my father was a business owner and he understood about risk and reward and what it takes to run a business, working anywhere from 16 to 20 hours a day, working on 4 hours of sleep, then he could understand, hey, Dad, I'm going to put about $150,000 into this business, and we're going to do a food truck. He could understand and say, hey, he can give me some good advice. But I only go to people for advice that are where I want to be in my life, that have, whether it's the assets or the income, because I know they're going to give me qualified advice. So the self-help and development tapes, such a learning curve, because so many people are taught, go to college for all of these years and to go get a high-priced job, and then you have, all of this debt. They're not teaching you the real way of how it really works out here. It's just a bad system. So I've learned through those tapes and my mom to really get my advice from people where I want to be in my life. And some people will help you and some people won't, because it's a competitive nature. But the funny thing is, there are more people that will help you than not help you, but you have to have the courage to ask. Because God says, asking you shall receive, seeking you'll find, knocking the door will be open.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate to have the courage to learn how to ask, and the information has been priceless.
Curiosity is a big thing. I get that from my wife. I mean, just being curious about as much as you can and stuff that you're passionate about, and not be afraid to ask questions, because people are afraid that they're not going to look smart if they ask questions. And even in university I followed that credo. Like, I'd rather be the guy that asks the question than to take a bunch of notes I don't understand later. But yeah, I think that's really good advice. And relative to Hollywood, that you would say that it's the same pathway for you. It's like endless curiosity and aligning yourself with the right people.
I would have to agree with you 100%. Let me think about it. One of my friends, God rest his soul, before he passed away, Carl Gordon, he ended up being my grandfather when I was on a soap opera, One Life to Live, that was on ABC. And because of the personal self-help and development, the tapes and the things that I learned when I was younger, I'm like, man, the wisdom that this man has, the life and the career that he's had, like, that's a wealth of information. I'm on the come up, and I'm like, seeking you'll find, knocking the door will be open. I'm like, this man, he sees me as a young black son. He's like, he's playing my grandfather. I said, let me just ask if he would just mentor me. And I didn't say, would you mentor me? I just started asking him questions, and he just gave me so much wealth and information about his life and what he had went through. And just, when he had the TV shows that were going, he was a series regular, just a great career, and him opening up his ice cream shop, God bless his soul, before he passed. And he just shared so much with me. It just helped me in my journey on what to expect when you reach to the next level, how people act, what people will do, or the askers, hey, how you doing? Can I hold something? Hey, now all of a sudden you get invited to all the dinners. But where were you when I was going through struggle? Were you there? When they see you on TV, it's like, oh my God, he made it. Then all of a sudden everyone wants to invite you everywhere, and let's go to the club. And I'm not with all that. Sometimes you take up certain invitations, and when people say, hey, let's get together and smoke a cigar here and there. You do that with people that have known you for years. Yeah. But there's so much new noise that comes into your life when you start having TV success that you have to know how to just say, I don't have time for that. It's my family. And I learned a lot of that from, Carl Gordon, just giving me great examples of what to do and what not to do. And you pick and choose what you have to do. You have to go through your own journey. But like you said, it has been a wealth of information, and being able to have the courage to talk to people offset like Glenn Close. I mean, I was like, wait a minute.
Did you ask her why she burned the bunny, or why she boiled the bunny? I'd be like, yeah. What was that?
No, man. I worked with her on Damages. I played Big G, and she was, she was on that. She was in that character with Glenn Close and Tom Noonan. So I had a scene with them, and we were working together the whole day, opposite of one another. And I just had to pitch myself. I'm like, I'm really on my way. I'm like, holy shit. This is Air Force One.
She's legit.
This is Glenn Close.
She's legit.
The sweetest, nicest person you could imagine. Just a normal conversation. So most successful people, if you're in the right environment, under the right circumstances, they will give you a wealth of information that will blow your mind. And then, so when you deal with superstars who are humble, that will give you advice, sometimes say, here's my number, give me a call. I want to have tea, coffee when you get a chance. And then you deal with some Hollywood cats that really think that they done made it. Don't have a quarter of the career that some of these monsters, that I call them monsters, they're just so incredible at what they do. They're monsters. And then all of a sudden they want to give me their time. You learn to look at certain people when you sense that ego, like they think that they're too good to have a conversation. You just back away, and like this, the tapes, the books, the reading, the self-help and development, you know how to deal with those people. There's a great book by Richard Dawson called Impact Communication. Also, Dale Carnegie, I think it's Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a monster book.
It teaches you when you catch that attitude, you know how to use it, deflect it, use it against them, and just say, okay, you don't waste time trying to prove yourself to people that think that they're God Almighty. You just fall back. So these tools have been priceless in entertainment, because you're dealing with monster egos. Those people don't know how to be humble. They feel they got a couple of coins in their pocket that they are walking above. Let me tell you, what goes up can come down. And then all of a sudden, I've seen so many people that were doing it, then all of a sudden, it all comes to a crash.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same in athletics.
Then they want to talk, hey man, how you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? You never forget the people that shitted on you. But I still embrace them with love because that's what, I think that's the right thing to do. But I don't waste my time trying to help and move forward. Not after you shitted on me and had an attitude and you thought that you were too good and you didn't have time to talk to me before. But now you see that I'm doing very well and things are happening. Now all of a sudden you have time.
So, Shaun, in your early life, you were talking about, being competitive. If somebody challenged you to something, you were going to be the best. You're talking about becoming a lifeguard. You were 6'4", big guy.
Yeah, I was heavy,
and
man.
not necessarily the type to go out to be a lifeguard, but the challenge presented itself, and you attacked it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So in acting, do you find that competitive nature is necessary or is it helpful?
I would say absolutely. When it comes to acting, that competitive nature has been a blessing. Why? Because when you go on auditions and you start to say to yourself, how is it, damn, like when I first started going on, I met my agent at an arm wrestling competition at a White Castles on Queens Boulevard. Shout out to Adam Silver. The books, going back to what I'm talking about, the books and the tapes, not being afraid to engage people.
Right.
Getting rid of fear, saying, hey, how you doing? I'm Shaun, nice to meet you. And I was doing bodyguard work at BET 106 in Park at the time, and this guy at the time had the top fitness model agency in the country. Mm-hmm. And he just sold the business to BMG Talent, but he used to be called Silver Models. All top physical athletes, bodybuilders, anyone in fitness that you see, all the ads for Under Armour,
the name.
Came through Silver Models, Adam Silver. So I said to myself, hey, how you doing, man? I had this funny looking comp card that I got, and let me tell you how that started. I was just a sponge of knowledge, but I wasn't the guy that would ask you and then not do. I remember I was like, hey man, I'm working at BET. Maybe I should get a headshot. I never thought to be an actor. I always wanted to be a firefighter and open up a bar just like all my other Irishmen that I worked around with as lifeguards, because it was a great life as a firefighter. Worked 72 hours. These guys are traveling, surfing, because I surf too. They're going to Costa Rica. I'm like, this is not a bad life. Right. Guys got homes. I'm like, well, that's an American dream. I got my girlfriend. This will be fantastic. Mm-hmm. I said, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Why not? If they can do it, why can't I?
Right.
Didn't work out that way. But
by the way, for the audience, that surfing was happening in Queens.
Yes, Rockaway Beach.
Just want to let you know.
Rockaway Beach, baby, all day long. So make a long story short, I'm at BET. I remember asking this guy, Ronnie Wright, he's a photographer to All the Stars. I said, Ronnie, I'm like, I need some headshots. He's like, all right, cool. He's only going to charge me like $150. I said, I love him. He was like giving me a good shout-out deal because he usually charges $500. Then I'm like, okay, what do I need now? They're like, well, you need makeup. I'm like, okay. You need lighting? Just come to my house and bring 4 changes of clothes, and we put it together. So I did a photo shoot, comp card. Boom. From there, I said to one of the producers, and keep in mind, I'm just a security guard / bodyguard for the show. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I'd never been to an acting class, but I'm trying to get out there. I'm like, I had an opportunity where one day I got put on the show. I said, maybe I need to take this serious. Who knows what could happen? Thank God I took action. And let me tell you the great part about this whole story. So this one girl named Meloni said, hey, you should try to, do some acting. You should really try to give it a shot. Okay. So the first thing I did, I said, what should I do? She said, well, you take that comp card and you mail it out to, 20 agents. Okay. I mailed it out. I put together a website with a couple of pictures, some celebrity pics I was getting. No acting experience. One called back. Her name was Winsome Sinclair. She know that movie Belly?
Yeah.
She was a casting director on that. She's done a lot of Spike Lee's films. She's done work with Steven Spielberg. She called back. They were having a mixer up in Harlem. I go to the mixer in Harlem. I'm meeting Ulysses Terrell, other casting directors. I've never been to an acting class. I'm just there doing what Sean Ringold does. Hey, how you doing? Shaking hands and kissing babies. And young, Hey, how you doing? Hey, girl, what's going on? Just, hey, yeah, I'll be in a... I started off with a music video. I booked a music video. But then to find out that woman knew the producer on the show that I was doing security at, named John Mark, who's now the vice president. I think he's a VP of BET. Let me tell you how things can change over the years. So now these two, and he also worked at Centric. So these two were friends, and then all of a sudden, I ended up doing this music video, and I've learned this. Sometimes when you do something, keep your mouth shut. Don't let anyone know, because a lot of people try to block your success. Mm-hmm. So I did this video called Elephant Man Pond River. I don't know if you remember that. It was a big deal back in the day because we had the top 10 countdown. All the videos, all the artists and guests were coming to BET.
I remember the countdown.
I get on the show. If you're in a video, man, you're a boss.
Oh, back then? For
you're
sure.
A boss.
Yeah, back then.
So I had a great treatment on this video. It came out on the countdown, so every day I'm at work, my face and all the little funny things that I was doing on camera were on national TV. It was crazy. That's when I learned about hate. Because a lot of the people, I thought, they were like, yo, I started taking off without them. They were like, I was a little hood celebrity just because of a music video. Then from there, one thing led to the next. Then when AJ and Free left, then I booked my first national commercial from Burger King. Never been on a commercial. I've never been on a commercial audition in my life. I booked a national commercial. Do you understand some people go their careers and don't even do it? I booked it because I was not afraid to just take the risk. I learned that from the personal self-help and development. Be comfortable in your own skin.
No fear.
You're in the best version of yourself.
Before you were an actor, you were a bodyguard.
Yes. I was doing both until 2009 when I did Notorious.
And at a very high level because you were a bodyguard for some pretty impressive
some people I can mention,
yeah.
but I've worked with
That's okay.
people,
You
because we have
don't have to drop
non-disclosure,
names.
but A-list stars, and being around them. you learn a lot.
How did you get that position? How did you
Working
get
at BET because I was. Oh my God, I love the fact that you brought this up. I'm getting excited now.
Yeah, me too.
No, guys, I'm serious.
Yeah.
The getting into network marketing and stuff for what do you call it?
Amway.
For Amway, prepaid legal, all these network marketing companies. I was a student of self-help and development. So there's so many things that made me make choices to invest in myself when other people did something different. I was the guy that invested $5,000 in Steve Harvey's tailor at the time was Rocky Trigami. I think Steve Harvey was one of his clients. I invested in the suits, and that's when Puff's guy gave me his card. Queen Latifah gave me the card, and those are some of the people that I almost worked with Puff, but it didn't happen because I booked the commercial. I'm like, the commercial was much more lucrative. But I ended up working with Dana on with Queen Latifah for some time, and I love her to
What
death.
a voice, by the way.
Oh, she's incredible. I did the Traveling Light tour with her.
You did? So
Yes.
you listened to her sing jazz?
Yeah,
Oh my
it was
God,
incredible.
she's incredible.
She's a beautiful soul, and she's doing so much. I'm very, very proud of her. But it was because of how I was presented, how I looked in the suits. I was the only security guy on that team with custom tailored suits, and I have to admit they look good.
Right.
They look good. So you have
That's a Jay-Z principle, right?
Dude,
Didn't
you
he
have
do that?
press for success, but I got that from the network marketing books. Instead of going spending stupid money, I went and put money into my wardrobe. And when they come in, the clients were looking at me. After they finished doing the promo, they would give me their card. The management give me the card like, hey, we're going to go to hit a restaurant. We're going to hit another venue. Could you come? So I was snatching up clients left and right because I looked the part. I knew how to speak. I knew how to present myself. I knew how to shut up when need to be. I knew when to talk. All of those principles from those books helped me be to where I'm at today. I've never had an opportunity to even talk about so much of this stuff because most people, it's such a long, drawn-out story, but all of these things are truthful. Everything is real. The books, the training, I just applied what I learned in the book, bro. This shit is not rocket
We're about
science.
thriving, man. We're about thriving.
But just you have
This
to
is the
want,
story.
You have to want to do it and take the risk. If you just do it and say, all right, I need to look a certain way. People want people that are a representation of themselves around them. You're not going to be around some guy that looks like a bum. You want to be around people who look good, who are well dressed, well groomed. I thought that's very important. So I said, you know what? I'm working on top celebrities. When they come in, one time I had a 3-piece suit on. I remember Lorenz Tate. Him and his brother, they were in the studio. He said, God damn, when I picked them up from the car, he said, God damn, this kid got 3-piece suits. But they always put me in the front because I looked the best and I represented the company. And they would be the first ones to hand me their cards and say, hey, would you like to rock with us?
So before you were in security, you were a champion
arm wrestler. Yeah, don't ask me how that happened either. I walked up on an arm wrestling competition.
Audience. Arm wrestling.
Like that movie with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you, he was a part of my motivation. Why? I love the movie Over the Top. So I walked up on 116 where I used to lifeguard. I walked up there and I said, what do you call it? I walked up there and I was like, damn, there's an arm wrestling competition. And they said to me, hey, you want to sign up? I never arm wrestled a day in my life. but I'm a confident son of a bitch, bro. And these dudes been doing this thing for years. I ended up beating everybody there. I was like,
tell Dr. G some of the trash talking that you told me you would do beforehand.
oh no, this is being recorded. I can't say
you have
things,
to.
man.
Please, dude. It's hilarious.
Dude, I would say shit like, I own you, motherfucker. I own you. You my bitch. You want this? Come on. And knowing that the guy was stronger than me, I broke him mentally.
Right.
I would just get in there and use brute strength and power with little to no technique to beat them.
So now I know you got to go, and we appreciate your time so much here, Shaun. But I just want to, motherfucker, you are mine.
Come on, bring it. What you want? I'm gonna top roll you right now, nice and easy. That was nice. Or I could do the shoulder roll. That's a shoulder roll.
I'm like a little
Are
baby.
we recording this?
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Oh my god!
that's
You should have the
awesome.
camera on this. Some B-roll.
So Sean Ringold just arm wrestled Dr. G, and I'm gonna have to cast
my guns
Dr.
feel like
G's
a
arm right
spitball.
I'm sorry, G. I'm sorry.
But was there even a weight class for you?
Yeah, I was in the heavyweight class, but then they had an overall, and they had smaller guys try to take me on. I don't know how I won, bro. I just refused to lose, and I would trash talk, but also, when you feel that you can't be conquered, bro, there's really nothing that you can do. How does a guy like me come out of nowhere? But because I am a student of personal self-help and development, I'm fearless, and I truly don't care. I will just try to destroy you. I think you know better than me. I hurt him.
What do you say to the actor who's been passionate about acting since they were a child? They've been putting the time in, going to all the right schools, getting all the right education. They're in their 30s and 40s. They can't break out. Here you come, you don't even want to be an actor, and then because you were in that environment, surrounded by people, what do you say to them if they say to you, you got lucky?
You damn right.
How do you
I
answer
did.
that?
I did get lucky, but it hasn't been all peaches and cream. A lot of people sometimes, I've learned that one of my secrets is being comfortable, is being comfortable in front of the camera. Being comfortable in your own skin, and not being afraid to show people who you are and what's important to you. Some people go right into character, and some people also don't know how to get along with other people. Sometimes they don't know how to interact with someone. If you have a big ego and you're an actor, it can sometimes really hurt you. Because I've been on certain casts and I see certain people who are working all the time. They're not the strongest and best actors, and a lot of them, like myself, aren't theatrically trained, but they know how to get along with a cast. You're not just one person by yourself. You have to work with sometimes 10 or 15 different people, 3 or 4 different people in a
People don't
cast.
see that behind
You have
the
to
scenes.
work with different personalities.
Yeah.
That can come back down to a book, Personality Plus. You learn about melancholias and calorics. You have to learn how to understand people. You don't want to say certain things to turn people off. You don't want to insult people indirectly. You don't also want to upstage certain people. Everything has to do with timing. So many people who haven't had certain opportunities is because they don't know how to deal with other people. Sometimes folks are late to auditions, they're not on time. I've seen people blow auditions by complaining in the elevator on their way up to the casting office, not knowing that the client for whatever major brand or show was in the elevator too, and they're bitch moaning and complaining. They get in the room, and I'm like, oh. So I've learned to keep it positive from the time I walk inside the building till the time I leave. Then I'll curse when I get in my car.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you see so many people blow opportunities because of simple dumbass mistakes, and also bitch moaning and complaining. You have to suck it up sometimes, man. You have to sometimes wait on an audition for 20, 30, 40 minutes. Your car's at the spot, you're gonna get a freaking ticket. It's a part of the game. I put my car in a lot, and I see it as a numbers game.
That's the nature of the beast. I mean, acting is the only thing that comes to me that it's analogous with baseball. It's like if you're successful a very small percentage of the time, you're considered a real success.
Yeah.
Like if you hit 300 in baseball, that's 3 times out of 10 that you were successful. In acting, it's probably even less. If you go on 10 auditions and you got 1, that's probably pretty good.
I used to be at 60%, bro. At one time in my career, I was booking work like going out of style, national commercials, TV shows, like Betty. It was just happening. I was working with America Ferrera, like Glenn Close, and it just started hitting. But there was also a time when nothing happened. And the funny thing is, most people, I'm just being real, have so many people say, hey, I want to start acting, and then I put them on to Actors Connection, and like you got to get headshots. Some people don't want to invest $500 in themselves. They're laughing. They want to
You were
win.
spending $5,000 on
I was
suits.
spending $5,000 on suits when I was doing security work so I could get with the better clients and I looked great and I represented them. They were like, damn, you make me look good. And just the way I communicated and how I, talked to them and how I would deal with the fans. Excuse me, guys, please step to the side. I appreciate it. Sir, thank you very without even having to get physical. Like, I love this guy. He's the best representation. He knows how to, he's cool mind. He's not going to cause us a lawsuit. So a lot of these things I learned from, the tapes, but going back to the acting thing, I put that same analogy into my acting. I want to look my best, be well groomed, great personal attitude, give people good energy. Even when I'm on like my 18th audition, ain't nothing happened. Shit, nothing was happening. I'm like, damn, I'm broke. I need some money. And I'm like, I need this job, but acting as if I didn't need the job. And then all of a sudden, boom, you get it. So I remember one time one of my most successful commercials was Dr. Scholl's. That was a 6-figure commercials for 3 days worth of work. You're doing your green
Have you seen
screen,
that commercial?
You're
It's
dancing.
awesome.
I'm doing a thing.
He's doing a little shuffling.
Laughing, dancing, and I was the head guy on that commercial. And people say, "Oh, you were lucky." I'm like, you know what? From 2000, what was it? It's like from 2011 to 2012 or 13 when it came out. I had not booked one commercial audition, but then I just booked Nexium, then that one, but no one sees the 50 to 60 that you did not get. The back and forth, the trips back and forth to the city, getting someone to watch the kid, getting changed, trying to find the location, getting tickets, all the things that make most people say, I can't do that and not get paid immediately. It takes sometimes years to get paid as an actor. People think it's an immediate gratification. No, my friends.
So, Sean, I want to touch on a couple of things.
Sure.
One is your physical fitness and your nutrition, as well as your spiritual health. Those are two things I think that are important to you, based on our
It's right up
previous
there with
conversation.
oxygen.
So, right up there with oxygen. So, dial that in for me. What does that look like? What is your spiritual practice? What are your beliefs? How do you and your wife engage in spiritual health?
I would say I'm spiritual, not that much religious anymore, because when you start seeing all the things that are based around religion, man can really manipulate and make things challenging. I go by treating people right, do unto others as you want things to be done unto you. Unfortunately, society doesn't work that way in true reality, but I've learned the be patient, be respectful, try to show love. And most of the time it comes back to you. I try to teach my kids the same thing. Be patient, be understanding. I always try to put them around people sometimes who are less fortunate, so they can understand and be so blessed, and they can understand how blessed they are to have the lives and the parents that they have. Grateful. When I went to Africa, when I went to Johannesburg, Durban, Soweto, and Cape Town, when I went those places, I went there with Ludacris. I can't remember what year it was. Luda, yeah. God bless him. He's doing fantastic as well. When I went to Africa, that's when I really understood what humility was and how to be so grateful to God for your blessings. Because when you start traveling abroad, and when we were in Durban, I had never seen poverty like that in my life. But then to see other children who are happy and joyous and jumping around, because that's all that they've ever known. They don't know what it is to have an iPhone and have money and wealth, and they don't know that, but they found joy in other places. But us, Westerners coming from America, looking at that, you're like, what? What? And they're happy, and I'm over here bitch moaning and complaining about my situation. Oh, I ain't got enough money to go get this car. You see kids barefoot, happy, and
Dr.
running
G and I
around.
talked about that several times.
It's so humbling. So
Travel is.
I try to be well-rounded for, my kids, and to be humble. That's the spiritual aspect, just to show humility. And God knows that I'm very grateful for all the challenges and the good times and the bad times. And we still go through challenges, but that's what makes us better for the next step. Because remember, if you can't handle and manage where you are, you're not going to be able to handle more. Real common sense. If you're messing up $180,000 to $200,000 a year, you're going to mess up $450,000 to $500,000. You need to be able to manage and balance where you're at. So everything has been a learning process for me.
You were saying, Sean, that you're a competitive amateur cyclist. You're not a professional cyclist, but you're cycling with some pretty heavy lifters in the cycling world. Some guys who are
Heavy
professional,
names.
have big
Landis
names.
and Cappy.
Yeah, I've ridden with, I continue, I'm still cool with my man, George and Christian, Valdi. Hope I didn't mess up the last name, man. Just beautiful people, man. I met them through an organization called By Hargitay. and we did this charity ride of like almost 180 miles over 2 days, a lot of elevation, and we built relationships, and it was just a great experience. And you become friends, and I say first you become associates, and then when they get to see who you are. And also Cadell Evans, Tour de France winner. I was just texting him the other day because he was doing snowboarding and skiing. I'm like, yo, dude, you come to New York, let's go snowboarding, because I do snowboarding, I surf. I'm glad I grew up in Rockaway Beach because I can always do an activity that a lot of guys would never think. They're like, you snowboard? I'm like, yeah, let's go.
You have to see some of the videos of Sean when he used to ride the crotch rockets. He showed me a couple of videos of the stuff he would do on
the rice burners.
Woo! Yeah. What's impressive is, because I rode them as well. What's impressive is it's impressive when you see a guy that size do that. It's different when a 150-pound man gets on there and does tricks on a motorcycle. But when a guy that's 300 pounds does that, or does a full split, that's when you're like very impressed. And back to the cycling, you haven't been cycling much more than a year, right?
No, 2 years. 2016 in June is when I started. June 2016 is when I started. Until this present moment, I gave up 3 weeks recently because it started getting cold. But I've been into the gym and doing that. But also I just started implementing intermittent fasting, which has been incredible for me. And it's past 2 o'clock. I cannot wait to eat. It's too, because I've gone 16, almost 17 hours now with no food, just water, my apple cider vinegar. Going back into your question about health and fitness, I don't know what, I can't tell you all the things that I don't have my education base on the fasting. I'm just doing the basics right now. But man, do I feel great. I can think clearly. I feel strong. I don't know what they talk about, how you lose all this energy. I just don't believe it. And the weight in my stomach area is coming down. And I'm the guy, I've been fighting, I've been asking him for years, put me on a program, I need to do this, that, and the other. I'm like, whoa, that program, man, I can't afford that program, bro, you went another level. And I was like, yo, I found this program right here, and it's been working great. I'm keeping it real. Don't be laughing at me, Ben. Ben works with the top celebrities, top, fitness champions, all this good stuff. He's like, hey, man, you got to come to this, come to the lab. And I'm like this, look. Alright, man, what's that gonna run me? I'm like, whoa, man, I got bills, I got kids. I'm like, damn, can you give me something that I can work with, homie? Like, yo, I can't work within your budget, player. Thank God I found intermittent fasting, man. It's cheap not to eat.
It's cheap not to eat, right.
It really is cheap.
It really is.
Oh,
and
my
the thing
God.
is, you really don't need as much as you think you do. All this meal prepping, this, that, and the other thing. I told you to stay away from the chicken and beef and the pork. My personal choice.
Sure.
But it's working for me. And I'm not going to...
Yeah, you're leaning down.
I'm not going to stop.
So he's the leanest that you've ever seen him?
Since I met him, for sure. And I know Sean now probably 7 years.
Maybe
6
more,
or 7
man.
years, maybe a little bit more.
Come on, One Life to Live.
Yeah, we met through Kamar, who's a dear friend of Sean's, and worked with him on One Life to Live. And then, when I found out that he was Suge Knight, I was like, yo, I gotta talk to this guy. Like, how do you play Suge Knight when you're such a nice guy? In real life,
it's easy. When you have clients that haven't paid you in the past, you could be that. He used to be a bodyguard as well.
It seems like you got some acting classes behind you when you do that scene where you're going after. You pull up in the car with
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
With Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, he's a great dude. Look at what he's. When I just look at...
I met him. He's a good dude from New Orleans, right?
Yeah, man. He's got a restaurant in Brooklyn. Juilliard. And that's why I say I'm blessed. You go back to, a lot of people are theatrically trained and they come from Juilliard, and I have big careers, and many of these people who are theatrically trained, they're doing off-Broadway shows, and I'm on national TV on some shows. And I say to myself, I'm blessed and I'm fortunate, and I always thank God for my blessing, and I can't... There's a lot of different circumstances that surround why certain people don't make it. Sometimes it's a look. Sometimes it could be their attitude. And some people just bitch, moan, and complain about what's not right. Why is this not happening? I can't speak for everyone else. All I can say is I know the certain actions that I took to help me get to where I'm at, and that is continuing to help me move forward in my career. And most of it is being a decent and being a good person. And when you're on set, you have a responsibility to deliver. Sometimes you're working on a $1 or $2 million budget a day. You have cameramen, you have ADs, you have everything going on, and they're waiting for your scenes. Yeah. You gotta bring your A game, bro, because every time you fuck up, they gotta go back. That costs time is money. So you want to go in there, you don't want to crack. I've had days I've cracked, but then I relaxed, they made me feel comfortable, and then I delivered. there's some days I'm like, oh my God, because I'm like, this is such a great opportunity. I know when this gets ready to come out. Like Luke Cage, I've had some great days on that show, and we have season 2 that's coming out, and I'm just so excited for it to come out and to get.
It's well done, man. I dig it.
Oh, yeah. Cheo is a genius. He's incredible at what he does, and I'm grateful to him because he also wrote Notorious. And he kept me in mind, and it was such a blessing. He's helped change my life.
Yeah. And Orange is the New Black too. That was.
I was heavy there, bro. Don't bring that up.
Yeah, no, but it was good, and it was a really good performance, and it's a good show. It really is. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but my wife watches it.
Orange is Black is a great show.
It's a good show. And then the other day I checked out Ballers. I haven't seen your scenes in it.
That show. I'm not in Ballers.
You're not in Ballers?
No, I want to be in Ballers. I would love to work with The Rock.
That's all you do.
Dude, now the physical shape that I'm at, that's why we were talking about management. You need certain management that can open up certain doors for you, because there's no reason why where I'm at now, or why I haven't, had a shot. I did have a couple opportunities on Power, but I didn't like the role. So I've learned to say no to certain things because I don't want to be seen. If I'm being seen in an incredible light on Luke Cage, why in the world am I going to be seen just as a quick little bodyguard on a show like Power? No, you have to wait for that opportunity that you want, that you see fit for yourself. Know your value, because you can't go from a bigger role to something like just standing outside of a
that's a mouthful, man. Know your value.
Know your value.
People don't.
I'm like, no, I'm more than that. I can carry pages and pages of dialogue. No, I'm not going to give you 5 lines. I just, truth be told, I just took an L to Quantico. I just booked a role on Quantico. I told them I didn't want it. I went and read for it anyway because they just said, hey, could you read for it? They wanted me to play the bodyguard role, at a club. And I just said no, because I had another opportunity on NCIS, NCCI, I forgot the name.
I think it's NCIS.
NCIS, and it was for a bigger role. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, being in New Orleans for a week. Obviously, I didn't get the role, but I said no to one thing, to a possibility on the other. Right. But the other one would have showcased me in a light that's how I want to be seen, where I can show my chops and I can show my character, my diversity. I can show them some range. The other role I could do with my eyes closed. I even said to one casting director, why do you bring me in for this when I feel that you should offer me certain roles? And I've gotten offers like, are we there yet with Terry Crews when I shot that? I didn't audition for that. They went to my reel. They said, oh, this guy can do it. At a certain point, I'm like, don't even call. I don't want to sound conceited, but for certain things, don't call me to come in and just audition for something that I can do with my eyes closed. I was a bodyguard in real life. Right. For me to be a security guard, and I worked at clubs when I was younger. It's no big deal for me to deliver lines and act authoritative. That's a joke to me now.
Call me when you have the role of the head of the Black Bike Gang in Sons of Anarchy.
Hello.
Did I just give you a dream job?
Dude, I said to Emilio Rivera, because I worked with him, on the on the movie this past summer, that we were shooting called The Family Business. And I said, dude, because he was on Sons of Anarchy, Emilio, such a beautiful dude. He said, man, he has the Mayans that are coming out.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I said to him, dude, if you have something for me, I would love to. Because, I have a Harley right now, and I've been riding motorcycles for over 21 years. I've been riding since I was 16 years old. So I said, I would love, like you said. So at this point now, I say no to a lot of opportunities, and some people look at you like you crazy. But I'm like, no, I know my worth. I know what God has in store for me, and I'm not doing any more of these small little security roles unless it's a huge feature film, like a part of a trilogy or something like that, where you just need me to have that's a quick residual that will go on forever, that'll do $1 billion. I'm gonna do the security role for that. But for TV and film, I'm not doing those small little security roles anymore. I won't even be behind certain actors. I don't care if it's it could be Robert De Niro. It could be anybody. I'm not just going to stand and be a bodyguard and not have dialogue and not be able to
Well, there's
shine.
No growth in that. And that's, I think, and also knowing your value. It's a step backwards for you. It's like, okay, yeah.
It's important to say no. Sometimes there's certain things that certain people you're just not going to work with, and it's going to be a waste of your time. You know your value. Thus, moving forward, you have to be where you need to be. And I'm not afraid to take a cut. Like I took a loss, losing that job. That could have been some nice change for me. And the agent, she respected my position. She respected my position, because when you're putting a reel together and you want to show good work, I have to take off some of the correction law and orders off of my reel, because you get so much work, you just can't keep putting security roles. So I show a diverse reel with like, wow, here's some comedy. I like to show that I'm funny, I'm vulnerable, I can be emotional. I just want to. It's so easy to find a big dude that can be hard and deliver some lines. What's that? That's nothing to me. I want to be able to show some range, and that's why.
Can you cry right now?
No, I cannot. Not right now. I'm so thirsty and
Dude,
hungry.
if he doesn't eat soon, he'll cry for sure.
All right.
Last question for me. Basically, like you have an 18-year-old that wants to be an actor. What are the 3 things that you say to them? Life skills that you advise you to give them.
Invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in yourself, invest in your future. I would say definitely go to some conservatory classes. If you can, at 18, go into a school, find a good mentor. From there, I would say good workshops are fantastic because many times at the end of a workshop, they hire and bring casting directors in to watch you showcase your work. Whether you're doing a monologue or you're doing a scene, you don't know who's going to be in that room. So when you do a performance and you're doing something for your career, you have to execute. You have to do a stellar job.
Perfect practice.
People always make mistakes and bomb, but that's what practice is for. So when it's time for showtime, you can do what it is you do and make it look effortless. I've learned on certain days, on certain shows that I really didn't put enough time in studying, I was forcing the words out. I wasn't able to put my personality and my flair into it because I was over here trying to memorize the lines. I couldn't take the words off the page and live the character because I was not there. But I still made it work, and it still led to more. But I knew inside myself I wasn't being the Sean Ringold that I really knew I could be because I didn't put enough time into studying. So I would tell people who were coming up, study, and
be self-critical.
Don't be so self-critical. Because when you're very self-critical, then you become self-conscious. And when you're in front of the camera, I've learned my secret, and I don't mind sharing it with people. One of my secrets is being comfortable in front of the camera, being comfortable in your own skin.
I guess I should say be self-aware.
Self-aware and be conscious. Like if I had a camera on me right now, do you think the interview would be different? Of course it would. It'd be a little bit different. You'd be maybe a little bit less animated. Your posture would be different. But we're not on camera, so you could slump over, you can chill, and exactly. But these are all things that come across on camera that people say, wow, this person has a real camera presence, and are they comfortable? Or you could just tell when certain people are self-conscious. People know that third eye is always there. They're watching.
Take pride in your craft.
Take pride in your and put time into it. Invest in yourself. Good photographer, good coaches, and good friends and mentors. When you're around supportive people, I would say being around supportive people, sharing your goals, dreams, and aspirations with people who are qualified to listen. Don't let everyone know your business because it's not everybody's business. Because many people, if I would have told them I was going to become an actor, they would have probably told me, no, you're out of your mind, you're going to be broke for the rest of your life. You're crazy. But then when you book a big national commercial, then some people have a lot of arrogance in this world. Like, well, people have the nerve to say, yo, do you really make money? Like, wow. Like, do I ask her how much money you make? But they see a commercial airing 1,000,000 times, and I'm like this, look, well, how much do you make each time the residual? I'm like, wow. Why? I've never asked you. Why are you
counting my money right now?
Why are you counting my money? So then you go like this. So then when certain people will get stupid with it, I'll be like, what do you make per year? Oh, you make $150. Well, that commercial actually paid me out $186,000 and I only worked for 3 days. Silence. Then they don't want to talk to you no more because they hate. But it takes a lot of rejection and hard work and determination to get to that point where you can say that. But it's amazing. I'm going to be raw and real with you. Some actors won't talk to you about the money that you can make. The money is the reason why I got so motivated to do this shit. Because when I booked my first Burger King commercial, I was a construction worker. I was a rebar laborer working at local 18A concrete cement, carrying rebar, doing foundations to buildings and courthouses and Zariga Airways. I was doing all types of stuff. I booked a commercial, and I started looking at the money. I said, what? This is the best residual game you get sometimes $1,500 to $2,000 for your session, and then you're getting residuals from all the different networks it hits. And sometimes every 2 to 3 weeks you're getting checks for thousands of dollars. You just give your agents 10% and you keep it moving. What?
That's honest.
What?
Yeah.
That shit. I said, look, if I got that commercial, putting little to no effort in just being comfortable in my own skin and just being Sean and acting a fool, and they liked me, then I booked the Boost Mobile, the next commercial. and then I booked the Dunkin' Donuts. All this stuff is up
But
on my website.
wait, back up. You said if I got that check by just being Sean Ringold, meeting my... What you were about to say was, imagine if I really put time, effort, and focus on it.
Look
which
at
is
where I'm at 10 years later.
Exactly.
11 years later.
It's a career.
But the money, I'm not going to lie to you, homie. The money motivated me because I come from hard work. I was a hard laborer, man. I used to do anything I could. You know, I'm competitive. Dude, I would be carrying more steel. The union guys would say only 5 pieces of number 5's rebar 30-foot.
Slow down, Sean.
I would carry 7 to 8 on my shoulder by myself. I was doing the work of 2 men, and they're like, you can't do that. And then I had to start working with a partner because I always wanted to let them know I'm a beast, and there was never a day I didn't have work. I was always working because I was always out working. I had my Chippewa boots, had my cut-off shirt, had my... Man, I was a...
Did you carry a lunchbox?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
lunchbox?
Dude.
Coffee in it and everything?
No, I wait for the coffee truck. But I'm just saying, dude, I took that attitude towards my acting, and that's why things turned out the way they were. I worked so hard then to work and just have fun in front of the camera to make money.
I think
God.
I think you were ready for the luck that you had. You were blessed.
Absolutely.
You were ready for it, though. You did all the work. You did the hard work, going back to your mother and giving you those books.
It wasn't hard, man. All I did was take some pictures and smile on a camera. I went and actually paid the money to get them printed out. I did the work by mailing them out to 16 agents. 1 called me back. That led to a music video. That led to another TV video. And then that led to the first commercial. I just took the necessary steps. People told me what to do. I actually did it. Most people won't do it. Most people won't deal with the rejection. Most people won't get on the phone and say, "Hey, man, I'd like an opportunity to get in your video. How much you pay? $200? I'll do it." I got paid $100. I'll never forget. I got paid $168 to do the Elephant Man video. I was non-union. $168. Yo, dude, but look at how many spins that got. That led me to, getting into another music video. Then Rupert Randolph and the Family Band. Then I brought my motorcycle. I got my motorcycle into a video because I was able to network and talk. And then I got $500 for that video. But it was more about the exposure in the beginning. Most people don't want to work for no money in the beginning. Right? They're like this. No, I ain't getting that. I can't afford to do that. Then you stay doing your job. Right? But then when I hit that one job that I can make in 2 to 3 years, what you've made in your lifetime, they don't want to hear that. I told you I got motivated by the money, but also I understood to get to that next level, it was going to take a lot of hard work, consistency, determination, rejection. I was willing to embrace it all because I tasted that success to understand that I come from hard laborer's work to have residual checks coming in my damn mailbox. What? Shoot, I knew that this business had potential. You couldn't tell me nothing. I said, what happens if I had a full blown out campaign? Or I was a brand ambassador for a company. We're talking 7 figures, homie. What do you think Flo is doing on Progressive?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Hello.
What do they call him? The dude from Oz. What's his name?
Oh, for State Farm. For State
Mayhem, yeah.
Oh my God.
He's killing it.
He's killing it.
But my thing is this: how many years have they been at it?
Yeah.
How much rejection did they go through? How many people said that they couldn't do it? We have what you call rhinoceros skin. You could say what you want, look at us, say whatever you think, your opinion. I don't give a shit. I just know I'm willing to put the work in. I'm going to put the time in. I'm going to put the auditions. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to give these casting directors and these producers the best version of myself. Even when I was heavy, I was still giving the best version of my heavy self. Smiling, good energy, doing splits. They were like, this dude's off the hook. Like, word up. Yo, ain't got nobody do like that. When I was doing the next team, I was like, this is the jackhammer. I was like, I got some money. I was like, that commercial pays some money, dog. What? I was, for real. Don't tell me money don't. I hate when people say money is the root of all evil. They didn't have no money, bro.
That's what I'm saying. The people that say that never been broke.
Everything is more challenging on the other side without having money. I don't care what you say, man.
Absolutely,
that's the
man.
I think.
So I'm pulling away blue collar work, hard work. I'm pulling away know your value.
Hell yeah.
I'm pulling away put your ego aside.
Oh yeah. Ego represents edging God out. Don't edge God out.
Communication skills.
Communication and having a good support system.
Support
Because that's how you thrive personally, no matter what you do.
Know your worth.
Know your worth, value, self-value.
And also, I tell you this, guys, man, you gotta listen to a lot of personal self-help and development. The information is so free. You have podcasts of some of your most successful businessmen that are out here that can just help you and listen, like a podcast like this one, just to give you advice
you know how
from
many
people
you're
who are
going to
living it.
motivate right now?
I don't know. I'm just I'm speaking from the heart. This is unscripted. This is right off my heart.
Is there a book that stands out that you've read, whether as a kid or now?
Oh, I know this one that you guys are gonna like. One that I just started reading, but the book that really changed me: The Magic of Thinking Big. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And what I'm reading right now that I know you guys have probably read, or you have to have already gotten to it. It's called oh my gosh, Tim S. Clover. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart.
It'll come to you.
Kobe Bryant's trainer, Michael Jordan's trainer.
Oh yeah.
The Magic of Thinking Big, David Schwartz.
David Schwartz.
The Magic
Grover.
Tim S. Grover.
Tim Grover. Yeah. I don't know the title of his book, but I know I can see it in my head right now.
Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. I can't.
Yeah.
It's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It's talking about being competitive, and the work that it takes to be a cleaner, a closer, like the difference between a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Dwayne Wade, their actions, their mindset. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I gotta pull it up.
Yeah, we've spoken a little bit about that, me and a few colleagues, because we had this conversation with Gilbert Arenas when we were working with him, and we talked about what's the difference. He has an interesting theory on it, which I won't get into it, but why certain guys possess the characteristics like a Kobe and a Michael to be killers, to be absolute competitive killers. Like, you know, they will pull your heart out in order to win. And that's a quality that a lot of people don't have. I mean, not, you know, without being within the.
I gotta tell you, it's
sport.
sometimes discouraged. It's sometimes in schools with kids they'll discourage that kind of competitiveness. I mean, some people have it, some people don't. But if you have it, develop it.
Right.
It's an asset.
Absolutely, and those same guys put in all the work. Absolutely, but it was that characteristic that set them apart. You know, we've interviewed Bill Romanowski. That was another guy. You know, just had that instinct, like you were not going to beat him. And I think that carries over into no matter what your passion or your profession is. If I'm going to be the absolute best I can be right now at this moment. Also being in the moment.
Right. If you can't be competitive with somebody else, you be competitive with yourself.
I agree.
Set that challenge. Do your best to meet it. Don't crush yourself if you don't meet it. You set the next challenge.
Doc, final question for Shaun.
Final question for Shaun.
Yeah.
What's next for Shaun? What's Shaun doing 5 years from now?
Ooh, Shaun in 5 years.
Wow, good question, man. 5 years from now, I'd like to be producing maybe my own TV series.
You love the business.
I love the business, but also I've become so passionate about cycling. I would love to be able to pitch a show to the Travel Channel and travel the world cycling, showing people that I've lost, you know, cycling isn't 100% of what made me lose over 100 pounds right now, but wanting to be a good cyclist, you need to learn how to fuel your body correctly. You want to put the best foods and nutrients inside your body. So it forced me to stop being lazy, to start reading and educate myself on what I should eat, times that I should eat, and what I should
You got to
eat.
take responsibility for your own health.
I take responsibility for my health, and because I'm learning how to eat correctly, I can perform better. They go together with each other. Not all these, you know, you don't need all the supplements that they try to force down. You need certain ones, but you don't need all these crazy supplements. And I haven't been on a fat burner in over 2.5 to 3 years. Fast. There's just so much, you know, it's marketing, it's also a business. And I'm saying that some of them don't work to give you the edge, but me, I used to suffer from anxiety. So when I would have, if I was going through something stressful in my life and then I take a fat burner, oh my God.
Multiply by 10.
I would be zipping, bro. So that wasn't what worked for me. But I would like to be producing some shows, and I like to be well into my career, you know, doing very well with some major movies and TV series behind me. And more than anything, I want to have a healthy family. I want my children to be happy, healthy, you know, be in the house of our dreams, or on the way to being in the house of our dreams, and just being in a financial position where I can travel the world, you know, with my family, not alone. I want to be able to travel and have a nanny come with us if need be, and just give my kid rich experiences. I don't want to buy them many things.
Yeah.
The things that I remember the most in this world are from when I was traveling with these different celebrities. It lives with me forever because it was an experience. You know, having
said the same thing.
Rich experiences will help people become great people. Just to get out and see how other people are living. Like, I want to go to Australia because I heard the people there are just so nice. I want to go to Ireland. I've already been to Africa, but I want to take my kids to Africa. I want them. I want to go to India. I want to go to so many different places to show what's really going on in the world, not just the images that you see on TV. You know, here in the United States, where they keep it very limited, they don't show what's really, really going on. I want to go to Russia. I have so many Russian friends. You know, my buddies from Manhattan Beach, all Russians, and I just can't wait to go. But I like to go with my family. If not, I can go by myself. But I just want to be in a position where I can travel and say, you know what, I'm not going to work for the next 6 months. I'm going to take a year off and be able to do it and not worry about what jobs I missed. That's really what I want more than anything, is financial freedom, because the pressure of this world that we live in, it always comes down a lot to your finances, what you can and cannot do by the money that you make. And I just don't want my kids to go through that. I want them to work hard, and I want them to be challenged
on their terms.
You know, but I don't want them to have what I have to deal with getting out of debt. It's, you know, I have many friends, they're very well off, and their kids didn't have to worry about debt, but they work harder than kids who do have debt. It's all about how you raise your kids and what you expose to them to being important. And, you know, living by example, not talking, you should do this, but then I'm doing that. By living by example. So when my son, my daughter, they see daddy's gone at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm in Central Park putting in that work, or I'm working, I'm on stage, or I'm doing whatever I have to do. I come back and I'm cleaning the house, I do whatever needs to be done. I live by example, because that's where you get your respect.
Yeah, actions.
So I want health, wealth, and
rich experiences. I love that. Rich experiences.
And good friends, because you know what? If you don't have good friends around you to enjoy these experiences, it can be a lonely life.
That's right.
And I hate to say it, there is more room at the top than there is at the bottom. There are people out there who are making it dough, and they want more friends, but because they're in a class by themselves, you don't have the same competition. There's less competition at the top. Would you agree with that?
I would agree. I think I read a really interesting book called Tribe by Sebastian Junger. It's a quick read, and he talks about that. He links our evolution to happiness, and the biggest thing that they linked it to, the research showed that the validation from a community, the validation of people, your worth to your tribe or your worth to your community was more important than anything material or anything that you accomplished. Was how your community valued you. So if you're all alone and you got $5 billion, but you have friends that are not really your friends and people that you don't consider a part of your community, then you can't really be happy, is what he's saying.
Sure.
You could be poor, like some of these places that you spoke about visiting, but the value to that community is greater. Those people are happier. They live happier lives.
And that's what I saw when I was also in Jamaica. I'll never forget a view that I had. There was like a rock field, and I was with Free. And we were, she was on vacation. I was bodyguarding at the time. And I was like, I'll never forget it, my man. These kids were playing soccer barefoot on like a stone cobble road. It was like cobble, but it was like stones. And I remember I was driving by, we were in Kingston. I forgot the nice part. Then we went over to Kingston to go fishing. And I remember looking down this alley, and these kids were like playing with the soccer ball barefoot, and they were smiling. And I was looking like, oh, that hurt my feet. That's all they ever knew. They didn't have shoes. They were dirt poor, but there's joy in their face. It just always reminded me when I'm like, that's why I want to take my son and my daughter to like, look. Don't ask me about no damn Xbox game and this is gonna be horrible if you can't do this, that, and the other. I said, look, Ernie Hudson just texted me. He says, thanks, son, Happy New Year. I'm still looking for the right Bentley. Hope all is well. We'll get to see. I love you, Dad. Like, he played my dad in the new TV series.
He's looking for the right Bentley?
Yeah. Oh my God, I love him. See, like, he's one of my mentors. Like, I ask him, and hey, because it was just on Steve Harvey the other day, and I was like, hey, Dad, I saw you on Steve Harvey, great job. And like I said, when we come to New York, let's connect. It's about having those relationships in place. And he's a dude, like, think about how much I can gain by listening to his wisdom and what he's accomplished within his career. So many people, they're so afraid to take some humble pie. Hey, could you tell me about your life and what do you think could help me on my journey? Some people think because they may be at a certain point in their career, like, I don't need that advice. I'll tell you something, man. I saved myself a lot of trouble and heartache by being around people who are, this is what I want to share with you guys. Be around people who are better than you.
Yeah.
Be around people who know more than you. I always try to be the dumbest person in the room. I don't want to know the most.
It's an energy. You mentioned energy, and it's an energy that is an attractive force rather than a detractive force. If people are sucking because they're trying to get stuff from you, and it's not genuine, then that's somewhat destructive. But if you're in an area or you're with people that you can learn from and you're humble with it, that's attractive to me. It's like, and you're just going to suck it up.
You said it before. If you're in a room full of people who know more than you, listen. Listen.
All day. I'm not used to talking this much, and that's why I'm talking so damn much, because nobody be really talking to me like that. Usually, they ask me a little advice, I give them little sound bites, and this is what you should do. But 98% of actors and people or wannabe actors that want to get out there and do it, they ask for my advice, and I give them a couple of things, and then I ask them, hey, 5 years later, hey, did you get your headshots? Nah, man. People make excuses, and I've learned most people are where they want to be in their lives because they make excuses and they don't take action. Most people are usually overweight for long periods of time. You have Google, man. You have Google, you have YouTube. There's no reason why you can't get the information that you need to take your life to the next level on any front. Marketing, you want to be in shape, you want to be a better father, better husband. Everyone is selling themselves on YouTube. Great authors who used to charge money for their audiobooks have to give free information away because that's the way that it's changed. That's where it is. You can get on a podcast and find out anything you really want to know.
It's at your fingertips.
But most people, it will always go back to 3 to 98% because 98% of people will not do the necessary work to get to the 3%. That's why 3% of the population controls 98% of the wealth.
Done.
And on that note, we are intermittent fasting, and we are
Cycling
thankful and grateful and thriving, and I don't know how many times I can say thank you. This is exactly what this podcast is about. This podcast is about people like you that are thriving in your passion and can pass on just these little golden nuggets that can help, our listeners.
I hope you guys. I hope I dropped some knowledge.
You did. You dropped some knowledge.
I appreciate it.